All right, here we go. Happy Friday, March 6th, 2020. We're going to do the CoT Report Friday Roundup as promised, and a little bit more on time than usual. So the report just came out probably 3 o'clock Central Time. So we got this worked out. Took an extra couple of minutes because we were adding a couple of things that we didn't have in here that we should have been looking at. One of them was the U.S. dollar index, and the other was the Japanese yen. So both of those are now added into the CoT report and into the CoT indicator on TOS. So if you're fortunate enough to be on Trading Station, I think Larry Williams has, commitment of traders index already built into that, so you're lucky. But the Thinkorswim platform didn't have it, so we've got to add, graphical representation to our charts. Pardon me. We've got to add a graphical representation, or I like a graphical representation added to my chart at least. I like looking at the numbers. I like looking at this report that we've generated so that it's just a little easier to see sometimes. You don't have to thumb through every single symbol that you've got on your watch list to look for or to find what you're looking for. And, I haven't tried building a scanner to see if it works with this custom indicator or this custom study. It's quite possible that it does. So, that being said, we'll fiddle around with that this weekend and see if we can find out if we can just do a scanner based off of the list that we're working with and the commitment of traders report. Looking for extremes. I don't know that we can look for change in the way that we do with the scanner, but I want to play around with it a little bit and see what we can see. That being said, I like looking at the chart because we've got this nice 5-week prior column in the report in pertinence to the 3-year index and the 6-month index. So we're working with both of those still. I've long thought about putting a 1-year index in there as well. And maybe that helps. I don't know. Probably based off the same data that we already have. So, it's not like we have to do too much. But it is a lot of work because there are a lot of tabs down here. So updating them can be a little bit tedious at times. We've got to go in and find, lowest values in the last 3 years. So I'm sure we could program it, but all right, let's zip through this because I'm talking up a storm here. But 2 new indexes were added, and you know what? I did put these in the indicators because we're going to look at them later. So my indicatored column. So they are now in the TOS platform indicator. So we like looking at this unaltered in its current state. When we're below negative or we're posting negative numbers, we've commercial interest has set a new low for net short positions. So you see those negative numbers that are coming in here. We've got numbers that are over 100. That means they've set a new high, or for at least for the 6-month index, a new high in the 6-month. 3-year, same thing. You got anything under 0 is a new low for the last 3 years. So euro dollar, posting some funny numbers here, posting some negative numbers. I know the euro has been on a tear lately. Yeah, I've been paying attention to the euro FX, but what I wasn't paying attention to was the index was the dollar index. I needed to pay attention to what the dollar index was doing, and I wasn't. And we had a couple of runners here with the Japanese yen and with the euro FX and with the euro dollar, and it's been brought to my attention that there's pretty much an inverse relationship usually with the dollar index, and it's not my area of expertise per se. When notes do this or when interest rates do this, then what are the expectations of the outcome. I did brush up a little bit on an article on it, and so thanks to another trader who posted that for me. But we're here to go over the Commitment of Traders Roundup report. So the legacy report is out. We imported the data. Our indicators all updated, and now what are we looking at? So in the previous weeks we were we were looking at, I think, ZM was one that we were particularly interested in. Is this, we got ZM here? Yeah. Soybean meal was something we were interested in. And let's do this here. And that has since gotten, I think, at least in the 6 month, pretty bearish. If we look at the oh yeah, oof. So they were at a high here, and I think we failed to update that. So this number is relatively low in comparison to, but we've got to set the new high. So the highest value in the last 6 months was last week. So that's a 32. 513 here. Even lower on the index. Isn't that funny? The lowest value, highest value. So they're getting pretty bearish. Oh, good God. Good God. So last week they were net short quite handsomely. Oh, they jumped off a cliff. I think the chart jumped off a cliff too. Let's just quickly look at that. Well, I was looking at Ethereum here. This is something else that we're doing too. Comparison to the index. Didn't know what the compare button is, but now I do. So we were looking at the Japanese yen and the dollar index. So we'll get back to that real quick. So let me just take a look at ZM. So commercial interest posted staggering, relatively short. Oh, wow, look at that. I mean, gee, let me turn this off here. This comparison. That is a cliff. Is that accurate? Can that possibly be accurate? Commercial interest is holding an extremely negative outlook on the 6 month index. Last time they took some, their sweet time, probably about 4 weeks, getting down there. I close my email here. They spent some time getting down into the extreme negative territory, and we saw the market turn. Well, now they are not very optimistic about ZM whatsoever. This don't look good. This does not look good. Well, we're gonna have to watch this here. I mean, this could be a net short position already. Brewing here. Let's go 9 and 2.5 on the ATR. Let's see if it broke the ATR yet. Oh no, I mean it's blazing, so it's got some. And it ran 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 days up. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah. This gapped up hard, so this could come down hard. I mean, comms are not they're not interested in this whatsoever. Anyways, let's get back to the roundup here. So just pay attention to ZM. That's going to be on our list. This is why we use the 5 week index or the 6 month index with a 5 week prior, is that we can see the drastic change a little bit more versus 85%, which is up over 80. It's pretty bullish. And then they drop down below that. So they just dropped down below extremes here on ZM on the 3-year index. So this one's a little bit more responsive, and you can kind of see. This kind of gets your attention a little bit more. So this is why we use this 6 month. And if you're an intraday trader, you're looking for something not long term, this may pique your interest. So let's back up to the top here. The Russell just kind of lifted its head just a tiny bit here today, or this week, by commercial interest. RTY has been getting absolutely killed. And they held a relatively negative bias on RTY long before the downtrend even occurred. well before. Well before. Where is RTY? If we look at commercial interest here, we were preaching this weeks before this started to dump, that something funny was going on with commercial interest. Right? So it's just, market. I mean, it goes without saying here too. Market sentiment is blazing, really high in RTY, and we think when market sentiment's up this high, it's time to get out of the pool. Think short when you're up in here, and think short up in here. Market sentiment really high. WPR up in the oversold range. I mean, it was up and oversold up here too. But you got a nice rebound. I think this had a lot to do with the S&P too. The S&P was running, so RTY recovered. Not as handsomely, but it did. So I'm going to turn off this ATR here. I like to know where the ATR is, but I don't like to have it on the chart all the time. It just kind of clutters things up a little bit. And what I'm also going to do too is just clear this drawing set, because I haven't looked at this chart in a while. At least at this in this time frame. So yeah, but you pick and choose. You pick and choose what you want to play, and you can't play them all. But we knew the indexes were getting crushed. But look back here. Look back here. Started breaking that 20% mark and well under. Putting in some zeros here, putting in some all-time lows on the 6-month index, and your 3-year index is right along with it. So almost, you don't see this very often, but par for the course. I mean, this is just like, there's the 6-month and the 3-year are right on top of each other. You almost never see that. You almost never see that. So for an extended period of time, a very extended period of time, commercial interest did not have a positive outlook. Did not have a very positive outlook at all up here. And they were right. But this was long before. This was at the end of December, into the first part of the year. I don't know when that business of the coronavirus took off, but you might want to put an anchored VWAP on one of these, where the candle is that the market started panicking and selling off. RT is at lows, blasted through lows for the year, right? Yeah, that's the low. We're at a low for the past 365, well, the past year of trading. How many trading days? It's a little different here, but we're at lows here. We're at lows. When's that bleeding going to stop? Who knows? But maybe when comms get a little bit more bullish on this, but they're not. So market sentiment is declining. Market sentiment is on its way down. So when it's on its way down, we start to think rallying. This previous 1, 2, 3 day stint, 4 day stint, or something like that was a drop in the pan, it seems like. So, I mean, if we're do you keep short? I don't know. They're oversold here. WPR showing oversold. Com's getting, coming up a little bit here. Closing out some net short contracts, but boy, what do we have in here? This doesn't always work to our advantage. I find when the indexes that they don't shift open interest very often. People have, at least in the last couple of years. We have to look back further at open interest, but I mean, there's quite a gap in open interest here. 3 months. Usually, you see a little bit more response out of different commodities, but I'm rambling on here. Where to go from here? And I think what we were trying to point out is the bearishness of commercial interest well before this thing took off. They don't seem to buy tops very often. They don't seem to hold a positive outlook too often, on tops. They were bullish back here on the 3-year index. And they knew something we didn't. It's not a magic. It's not a crystal ball. It's not a magic trick, you know. Yeah, they may be getting bullish back here. They may be buying, increasing their net contracts with expectations of it going higher. It doesn't mean that it's going to immediately start moving up in the other direction. I find oftentimes they kind of get a head start on things. You know, when people are selling, they're buying. They're buying in here. And look where we are now. Not very interesting, huh? But I don't think that they're selling down here. I think they were selling up in here because that it looks like that's what they were doing. Anyways, we're rambling here. We are rambling. So RTY, lifting a little. What do we got here? PL. You know, I want to pay attention to this guy. Absolutely. I don't play platinum very often. It's chaotic. I mean, this chart is chaotic to me sometimes, and I just don't. We do have it on the indicator though, so we do got the data here, but I don't play platinum very often. I don't know why. I really don't know why. If we're following the leading indicator, then what's the problem? We're following the leading indicator. What is the issue? When they're breaking bullish, what's the issue? They seem to have the commercials seem to have a really good pulse on this. Look at that, huh? So we're overextended to the downside here. Comms are getting bullish. Open interest is declining. I'm surprised we got a little pop here. Something to look forward in the weeks ahead. Platinum. Oh boy. Yeah. The pound ain't look too good. We've looked at it once before. Just quickly do it again here. There's a couple other videos. We had a nice target down here. We thought this was gonna break down, but it's being it's pretty persistent, and it's with the way the market is right now. I mean, comms are still still holding pretty bearish here. And they were holding bearish back here, though. And again, they were getting bullish back here. The market moved up. So, individual videos will be posted on these probably as well. So British pound still, sticky business. Short, long scalps. Haven't been playing it that much. Went short, stayed short. That was it. Still looks pretty. Still looks pretty bearish here. We getting some movement on wheat? It's possible. A little bit. Well, they set a new low back here, huh? Yeah, they did. So we got to update that. Negative 41. So this is all relative now. It's all relative. This is much higher because they're not holding nearly as many net short contracts as they were, just previously. So this looks more their average, but they were really short back here, huh? And this is wheat. So wheat lifting its head. What's wheat look like? What's wheat gonna do here? They're lifting up a little bit. Yeah, well, they got bearish back here. Comms got bearish. Extreme. So I mean, we follow this down too. So that you notice that 6-month index. Let's just minimize this here. I thought we already did this once before. And you got to pay attention to the moves too. This is consistently net short, and and it sold off a little bit, and they got really low, negative 25. I got to update the indicator. That's the problem with having them not connected together. I was trying to do that, but it didn't pan out. But they got bearish, and they got extremely bearish, and markets running down a little bit here. Not at extremes. I mean, they are lifting their head here, but they're not at extremes just yet. We'd like to see that up a little higher. I'd like to see a little lower. And there it is. All right, we're gonna try to zip through here. We're on 20 minutes, and we've got there's something to pay attention to. Does this have our interest? Does the soybean oil have our interest? Yeah. They keep going. They keep going. Soybean should definitely have our interest this week. What we got here? Silver. Yeah, silver. If they're done getting crushed here, that's a big move. That's a big move. So let's take a look. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Negative 100 here. So they're net short. They were net short quite handsomely a few weeks ago. This, pay attention to that. Absolutely, silver, 100%. Pay attention to that. You gotta watch silver here. Gotta watch silver for a move, because that is a handsome sentiment direction change. And when they get bullish on silver, it's good. It's a good thing. 3-year index got bullish. What a ride. Right? 6-month index got bullish. Not as powerful as the 3, but a little ride. And then they got bearish. They got extremely bearish down here. Did they know something? Did they know something? Here's your range. Here's your top of your range. Here's the bottom. Here's the floor. Are you trying to recover here? Maybe you can come up and test that trend line, right? Look pretty good. Look pretty decent here. You got on some support here. We haven't drawn on this in a while, but declining open interest, relatively low open interest. They get bullish, and usually they take it the other way. I mean, that's what they look for here too, right? This is what the bulls look for. Right in this area, declining or relatively low. I like it when it's declining. Bullish, relatively low or diminishing open interest. WPR oversold. Hello. Same story every time. Does market sentiment help us here? Declining market sentiment. Right? We don't wait for it to bottom, so we've learned. Because we don't like to see market sentiment all the way down at the bottom, because, well, it's sentiment change, right? Right. So everybody's super excited about this. Now it's time to get the hell out of here. By the time to get the hell out of here, back here. Do you wait for it to absolutely top? I haven't seen a lot of convincing argument that you would want to wait for the top, but I mean, market sentiment's something new we're doing, so we do like it on the declining though. Don't wait for it to get all the way to the bottom, because if we did here, I mean, maybe you had confirmation when you took out this high, this pivot, that it was going somewhere. Oh, look at that. Pretty close. Did you want to wait? Yeah, no, not really. They didn't wait. I didn't wait back here. Find a nice safe entry, find a nice pivot, and get in down here. All right, cruising along here. GC, it is what it is, man. It is what it is. It's up, it's down, it's up, it's down. A lot of fear in the market. A lot of talk about global economies just being absolutely confused about what's going to be happening next, and not having a clear-cut indication of what is going on with this whole virus thing. Euro dollar, hello, 95, still holding strong. Live cattle was one that we said that we were going to watch. I said watch live cattle. And we did a comparison too to ZM, because they got super bullish on ZM, and they had a nasty sell-off day. Nasty sell-off day, and it recovered quite handsomely. So what I'm looking for is a safe entry into this trade, because cattle is blazing here. They've got setting a new high again this week on LE. They set one last week. I left these numbers. They set one last week, and they set one this week. This passing week. And we're talking about a significant sentiment change here. Absolutely significant. I think this is going the other way. So we're up through the ceiling here. It's definitely on my watch list this week. 100%. Probably one of the top ones on my watch list. Right? Euro dollar, yeah. Oh, it's been blazing, right? It's been absolutely. Well, that's the EuroFX, right? What am I? M60. What was it? G here. Well, that can't be right, right? Euro dollar. Do I get this wrong? Yeah, euro dollar is different from the Euro FX. Okay, so we've got the right numbers here. What are we missing here? What didn't look right? Oh, Euro FX and the Euro dollar. We've got these are both Euro FX. That's why. And the Euro dollar is down here. Hello, Euro dollar. Woo! What's going on there? What is going on there? New low. That's interesting. I thought Euro dollar was ripping pretty high. I don't know. Maybe it wasn't. Hopefully we got this coded right here. Hopefully we've got this coded right. We're going to have to check that. No, that's right. Look, negative 17. Yeah. Because the Euro FX is through the ceiling. And they... Not too optimistic. Not too optimistic right now. A couple of nice bars here, too. But don't play the Euro dollar. But do play the Euro FX. And since the dollar's been getting killed, the Euro FX has been blistering. So they came down a little bit, right? I guess so, 150, right? They came down significantly. We're going to update this indicator. They've been blazing, absolutely blazing. I mean, we're still in extremely bullish territory here. It cooled off a little bit, but I mean, the buying 2 weeks ago was just excessive. So they're long there. I don't know when it's going to stop, to tell you the truth. I've been watching this chart all week, and bear trap after bear trap, man, just absolutely abusing anybody who's getting near that with shorts. So I think we've got to watch the dollar. Oats, hello, oats. No way, huh? Yeah. That's a significant sentiment change. So has Oats run yet? Has it gotten away from everybody? Or is there still hope? Still hope. Still hope on a very bullish 6 month. I mean, not as much weight as the 3-year index. I mean, it's better. Better in the sense that it's a little bit more responsive. You know what I mean? I think a little high, hikes up a little higher. But there's more data to work with the 3 years. So with the 6, we're working with 6 months of data. So our look back is a little bit different. So this has got a heavier impact. This holds a little bit more weight when we can see both of them crossing into bearish territory. Well, that's a double whammy, and that looks good. So then they came up, they broke on the 6 month index. They broke bullish here. Extreme positive condition. Now this is extreme. This is extreme. They're more net long now here at this location than they have been in the last 6 months, because they're up over 100%. They were 90% a mere 2 weeks ago. Yeah, put this one on your calendars, guys, because Oats may be taking a trip. We'll do a video on Oats. All right, dragon here. Jeez, live cattle. The Australian getting bullish. Yeah, that's what I like to see. Yeah, a friend of mine in channel had asked me, it's time to buy. I said not quite yet, but I think it's I think this chart is just about to scream buy me. And I think that happened. I think that definitely happened on the Australian dollar. I think there's some business about the Aussies central banks or something like that. Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's right. Okay. We found this nice pivot here. You know, we found this nice move. We got the 1, the 2, 3, and then we had a nice technical test in this area. We could have been buyers here easily, and it took off. So right now it's testing the ceiling. It did break through, so I don't know if we've got a false high or if they're eager and we've got some build up going on here, and the Australians going to take off. But we need to look at COT. So I mean COT getting pretty bullish. I mean they were moving up pretty good down here. Probably about towards the middle of January, we're starting to think that this was going to turn the other way. And now we're up over on the 3-year index and the 6-month index. So Australian something to watch. Absolutely. High grade copper. I'm indifferent about high grade copper. I really don't know. Um, I guess when global economies are looking good, then high grade copper is something you want to be interested in. But um, sentiment is shifting. So what's high grade copper looking like for a trade setup here? I mean, COT can help set your expectations with sentiment. Ooh, yeah, I mean that looks good. That does look good. It looked like shit down here, and it was for good reason. When declining, that's good. This is what we want to see. Declining or low open interest. Com's getting bullish. I think we get some pump here. Maybe we wait until we get a nice bounce play. As it looks like it's weakening a little bit, but that's a nice stick right there. But we just maybe soon here. Maybe soon. We have not been watching copper. So what do we got? We finally bottomed out here, and then there's your ceiling there, right about there. So does this look like an accumulation pattern? Maybe. Quite possibly. Yeah. It could be accumulating pretty good here. And what's this? Market sentiment's low. We will like it when market sentiment is declining. Not quite bottomed out, but getting there. Watch HG, man. Watch copper, because copper may go here. How far, we don't know. Look left. Will we blast through that? We got to go retest here. We'll come up and test these 2 levels or something. What we got here, we gotta break that ceiling. We gotta break out of that ceiling. Let's move on. Let's go. HG, take a look at it. 5-year. I haven't been paying attention to notes. I'm not gonna speculate on notes right now. I'm really not. 'Cause I don't watch the news very often. You know what I mean? And I'm watching it, and I say, notes are bad. The yield curve this, the yield curve that, and I'm like, yeah, that's not looking good. The Treasury notes are not looking good at all. And then you look at the chart, and you're like, well, what's going on here? ZT. Then you look at the chart, and you're like, well, what? What's going on with the 2 years? So, I mean, is this thing about to drop like a rock? Is this thing about to come down like a hammer here? Because we got 3 and 6 index, extremely bearish, diminishing or low, open interest on 25th. Are these guys? I mean, are we getting ready to see notes just get creamed? I don't know. Oversold, overextended to the upside. Is this thing gonna rip next week down? I don't know. Market sentiment's rising, so I think it's time to get out. We always peek out before we get out. So watch notes. ZN is is the 10-year, right? All right, 35 minutes. We're trying to get going here. ZN looks exactly the same, right? They broke bullish here and it went, and they broke bearish here and it came down a little bit. But it looks exactly the same. So think short. Think short on notes. Yeah, think short. I mean, this is, if you're in the notes, if you trade notes, I've got to get into it. I haven't. I mean, this is a weird change, huh? So we got to look at the Dow Jones and find out what's going on with the Dow Jones, because last week they were last week they were bullish, but I mean, I don't know if these headlines turned everything around. Who knows? Where are you? Because it didn't look pretty. Well, you remember they started their bullish. They started the week out with their contracts there, right? So Tuesday, they have to report, and then we don't get their damn report until Friday. So maybe they did increase their positions, and just before they killed it. I don't know. Maybe the expectation was that's the bottom. Don't know. But they expect a little bit of move here. 24, 6, 5, 7. That's about 3,000, right? A little shy of 3,000. Right? Right. 4, 5, yeah, 2,000. 2.5. Ooh. I think this video is dragging. Let's get out of here. Something to take note on. Obviously, the indexes are, you gotta watch them if you want to make some money. It should be pretty easy to do that now. CL, we just had report that. So I was watching the European market. I don't usually watch it. So this, I usually just get the articles online. But Russia did not come into an agreement with, I think, the leaders of OPEC. So yeah, what did that look like at the end of the day? I'm sorry, guys. I went out snowboarding. I made my money for the week. I went out snowboarding because I needed to get some fresh air. Yeah, this is not looking good. It failed this test, man. It failed this test. So, is this whole thing with Russia to cut 1.5 million barrels, a huge deal? Yeah, it's a huge deal. I don't think they came to an agreement. I don't think they agreed to it. So, the market's been all twisted up this week. Euro Dow, we talked about it. ZN, notes are getting bearish, so pay attention to your notes. Obviously, ES, brutalized, absolutely brutalized. So completely different than the Dow Jones. Totally different image of or expectation of what's happening this week. They were all over the S&P, setting new lows here. Set new lows on the 6-month index. And we are creeping down hard. Yeah, watch the S&P. Watch your corn. Wow. I mean, this week is just filled with, we've gone through this chart before, and I don't think it looked this jam-packed. Soybeans dropping down, so if you were in this, it might be time to get out. Or getting close to it. Yeah, it looked like it was time to get out. Looked like it was time to get out if you're on soy. What we're looking at here. Seasonal decline in March. Yeah. I put these notes on because we do seasonal studies. So if you're in the Discord, check out the seasonal studies channel. We just do. It's just basically an average of 8 years of data that we can look at. I mean, it's nothing special. It's the data that I'm looking at, which is on TOS. I don't know if it's different somewhere else. It shouldn't be. It's not supposed to be. This is the exchange CBT, so one would think that it's all it's all the same. But I don't know. But we've got an average, and we look at it. And does it work? I don't know. Does it work? I think so. I think sometimes. But this is MES, so if you take a look at soybean, take a look at your 8-year study, and it's getting slaughtered. Compared to the average, it's getting absolutely dumpstered. It's the worst year in 8 years. And we've got a seasonal decline coming up. So we could print the worst year that soybean sees in a while. And then, remarkably, in June, it gets even worse. I mean, we're not going to dissect the seasonal study here, but we'll do it in another video. So, I mean, something to pay attention to if you're feeling like you want to get short. Japanese yen, that's soybeans. Japanese yen, one that we just added. Yeah, it's looking pretty good. And since the dollar's getting crushed, well, here's Japanese yen. Right? Right. And this is what we're gonna dive into this a little bit more, but um, we found the comparison tool in TOS, and I think this is going to be very, very helpful. So we compare against the dollar here, and I like this comparison tool much more than TradingView one because it doesn't get skewed when you move it. So, anyways, here's the separation here, the separation here. Come on now, the separation here, the extreme separation here. Separation, and the crisscrossing of one up, one the correlation here, one up, one down, one up, one down. I think this is going to be extremely helpful, and this would have been extremely helpful if we had this index lined up here and we saw that the index was just getting crushed and comms were getting bullish in here. If it took a ride to the upside, you would have had a nice couple of weeks here, a nice week. Japanese yen is on the board. We are now watching that, and we will juxtapose the index versus the Australian and the euro and whatever else we can get our hands on that TOS will let us trade. I think they just told me recently that I've got to pay for a package so I can get a couple other things on here that I'm missing. The dollar, we know what the dollar's been doing lately. It's been getting hammered. And natural gas, I don't know why they're still bullish. It's getting crushed. I have no idea. They've been bullish for months on this, and I just don't know where NG is going. This is one of the more baffling charts. They're just not letting go of it. They think it's undervalued, and they're hanging on to it. So that is your CoT Report Friday Roundup. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for stopping by, and thanks for kicking it on my personal trade journal. This is Paramay Trades, and this is Paramay Trades Journal. Again, not an advisor, not a financial advisor, just a speculator like everybody else. Studying the charts, trying to master the charts. It's probably a lifelong endeavor or a lifelong journey. So thanks for tuning in, and hopefully you got something useful out of this. And I hope you find yourself on the profitable side of the trade, and we'll see you next time.